Greetings comic lovers and welcome back to Casually Comics, the channel where we chat all things comics, reviews of comics new and old, to history to anecdotes to really wherever our whims take us. Lois Lane gets married. It's been too long. It's time to take a dive back into the wild ride that is Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane. A comic that gave me the amusement of so many issues where it was Lois Lane marrying people who weren't Superman, enough for a playlist. I was dared to make it and now here we are, adding yet another one. I'm thrilled. This story comes to us from issue 105 from the year 1970. It was written by Rob Kanier with art by Ross Andrew and Art Saf, in a story that also marks the debut of the second Rose and Thorn. Well, Thorn cut. Let's explain. It's an update of a character from the Golden Age, Rose Canton, who had married Alan Scott, the Golden Age Green Lantern. I don't know why I hit the Scott so hard. Alan Scott. This updated character would get her own backup series in Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane. That's how big of a deal Superman's girlfriend was. Characters debuting in her backups. Thorn makes her first appearance in the first story of issue 105, and it is a doozy. Which is saying something about Lois' wedding, because they all are, but this one has some unique quirks. But I mean, again, they all do. You'll see. So dust off your suit, go rent a dress, or go to the thrift store and pick something up, because it's time to attend yet another Lois wedding. Don't get an expensive gift. This will all be happening again very soon. But before we get started, I'm Sasha, and if you're enjoying this content, you know what to do. Hit that like button, hit subscribe button. Join us on this comic book journey. Death House Honeymoon. Lois Lane is marrying a man on death row. Superman looks disappointed, which I mean he shouldn't after some of the stunts he's pulled in these stories. We're married now, Lois, and I'm about to carry you over the threshold. I appreciate the drama of him carrying her over the threshold into the execution chamber. This is the level of ludicrous melodrama I've come to expect from these Lois Lane weddings. This tale is from the transition period in comics, from the Silver Age to the Bronze Age. So it's a tale that's taking itself a bit more seriously. It's not full of gadgets and mad science and aliens potentially. Well, I mean, Superman's there. Sorry, Superman. It's trying to have some emotional depth and a titch of realism, but it's still got some of those classic tropes, so it's an interesting blend. The comic opens with Thorn dumping a bunch of flyers onto the streets of Metropolis, saying that she, the Thorn, is going to hunt down and kill the 100, one by one, to the death. Oh no, not the 100! This is actually the first appearance of the 100, who are not connected to the 10. It's just a random gang at this point, so it's double who. Who is the Thorn, and who is the 100? Also, why should we care? Well, Lois is into this beautiful stranger, her words. She wants to know more about this vixen hunting down these gangsters, or well, gang members. Harry, let me get you the inside story on the Thorn. It's a woman's story.
No, by openly challenging the 100, she's deliberately made herself a clay pigeon. If you're near her, their guns will cut you down too. It's a man's job.
Ah, the 70s, attempting to tackle social issues with all the tact and subtlety of, well, any comic ever, or anything really trying to tackle social issues anytime, anywhere. I think the hammer only took out the one side of my face. There are well-written exceptions, but they're on the rarer side, and this is not one of them. This story will bring up the idea of sexism with how Lois is allocated stories and then do nothing with it, and proceed to be a story about her getting married. Nice work, very cool. I mean, we know that Clark is Superman, so we also know that he knows that Lois will just manage to nearly die doing anything, so if you add any additional risk on top of that, he's gonna not be able to save anybody else. Side note, this is the issue before the one where Lois turns herself into a black woman thanks to the body mold machine, which we already saw with Darnell. Another classic example of good intentions gone cringe. Back in this story, there was a call from the prison a death row inmate has called, Johnny Adonis. He's dying that night and he wants to talk to Lois Lane. That's just as good as trying to interview a new beautiful vigilante. No, it's not. Also, if you're really deep in comics, you'll recognize Johnny Adonis as the name of a Dick Tracy character, but that character actually debuted 10 years later. There was also an infamous mobster named Joe Adonis, but that has nothing to do with anything. I'm pretty sure he's just called this in this story because he's supposed to be hot. You know that Lois can't resist anyone handsome, and he's got the name of a handsome mythological man. Lois nearly dies on her way to the prison, because of course she does. There's a random oil slick in the road and Superman has to save her, get his obligatory Lois save out of the issue. He's off to tackle the manliest story, looking for the 100. Who am I kidding? He's not going to do anything. Lois meets with Johnny, who is having his final meal, and Lois drops a bombshell. They've met before, or rather it should be a bombshell. She just kind of casually says it, just to mention, oh yeah, Johnny Adonis, maybe I should have said that I knew him before I took this story. Conflict of interest, what's that? Is he that famous of a person that we really need this story? But who am I kidding? Perry ran the Jimmy Olsen puff piece. Yummy, Lois, I'm calling your debt now. Nobody refuses a condemned man his last wish. I want you to marry me. Now that's romantic. I'm pretty sure that condemned men's last wishes, a lot of them are not to die, so I think that a lot of condemned men are having their wishes ignored. Sorry, Johnny, try harder. Now this comic could have come up with any backstory for these two. anything. And it chose the silliest of concepts. Get excited. I was working on my biography of Superman alone in a cabin in the mountains. Up, up, and away. Always a groomsman, never the groom. The Superman story by Lois Lane. Ooh, or look, up in the sky, a bachelor. Or faster than a married man. More powerful than Lois's libido. I wanted a breath of fresh air. I went for a walk across a frozen pond. This story, I have so many questions, so many. Even she paused between I want some fresh air, walked on a frozen pond, like, that was the thing I did. Superman, where are you? He probably heard and was just like, nope, not today. That biography's never gonna be published. You sure picked a funny time for a swim, baby. Hooray! It's Johnny Adonis. He's up in the mountains for reasons. Maybe he's running a tell-all book about how to pick up chicks after they fall on the ice. He says he's made some friends, but I trust nothing happening on this mountain. I would have drowned if it weren't for you, Johnny. No one would have known it. I owe you my life. I'll do anything to repay you. Thanks, Lois. Can get started on my biography after Superman's? Not as hot as my name, the Johnny Adonis story. I feel some people typing now, how dare you shame Johnny Adonis? The creep who's trying to blackmail Lois into marrying him. Johnny leaves, saying that he'll remind her of this contrived exchange one day, which brings us up to the present, or well, 1970. I'll need a bridal veil. Call Jimmy Olsen at the Planet to notify Superman of the ceremony. That's right, Johnny needs a best man. I gave him my word when he saved my life. Tell me, Superman, have you ever broken your word? That silence is Superman not caring. I mean, he's so sad, he's crushed, disappointed, he'll never recover. Let's make this all more uncomfortable. You sure kept your word, baby. I was hearing a kissing noise and that just became Johnny actually does carry Lois over the threshold to the execution chamber, and that's too far, even for late Silver Age, early Bronze Age Superman, and he flies off. So he misses Johnny being broken up by the 100 and Lois being kidnapped. I'm sorry I laughed, it's just this entire situation. There was a whole Johnny saying he was framed bit, but well, he wasn't. Not that that mattered, because Lois agreed to marry him anyway, because she gave her word. This looks like a job for The Thorn, or Superman, or at least a page 10 story for Lois Lane. Johnny, don't let me drown like a trapped mouse. I'm your wife. The car is submerged and Lois is saved by the Thorn. This causes the gang to start shooting at them, and Johnny decides that no one's gonna shoot his wife like a fish in the barrel, because that's too far. Drowning her is fine though. There's a hierarchy for Johnny Adonis. I don't know what it is, but it exists. Superman shows up, but oh no, Johnny was caught in the crossfire. His gang turned on him when he tried to save Lois, and he's dying. A kiss before dying. Night's coming down like a blanket of ice. Lois, where are you? Lois. Johnny Adonis died. Johnny Adonis, everybody. Lois says that she's left with a sensational eyewitness scoop, but her heart will break with every word that she types. No, it won't. Come on, Lois. I know you. Get out of here. That was a Lois Lane wedding. It's not the most fun of those out there, but it has its moments. It avoids the whole Lois is the most desirable woman in the entire universe trope that these stories love to pull out, but in its place adds bizarre and motivationless manipulation. Why did he marry her? Did he like her? I mean, it seems like he did, but it comes across so sleazy because you can't escape how circumspect it is without the attempt of slathering some romance on top. It would have been awkward and misplaced romance, but that's what I've come to expect from these stories. Where's my unconventional and in no way appropriate romance 1970? I mean, it's still there actually, but it's just, you know, it's different. This feels like half a story. Like, it's not fully committed to the Lois marriage angle, even though, unlike some of those stories, we get a completed ceremony here. But despite this being the debut of the Thorn, she's not the focus either. So it feels like something unfinished, and like the zany devotion given to this concept that is usually on display is lacking. In short, this one doesn't have the same fun vibe that some of these stories have. It comes across like the author wasn't fully invested in it. The joy of crafting is not present. I don't feel it if it was. It's very paint by numbers, like here are the things that are supposed to happen and here you go. There's not even an attempt made at keeping Johnny consistent, and concepts are mentioned half-heartedly and then just kind of left there. Not the finest Lois Lane wedding out there, but up there amongst the creepiest. Plus, now I want to hear two things from you, well more than that, but specifically two. Leave them down below, they're gonna make my day. One, I want your best Superman biography titles. Please, put them down there. I need them all. Two, I want a credible backstory for Johnny and Lois, and by credible I just mean better than this one. And of course, I want to hear what you thought. Lois Lane weddings, never stop, never stopping. Please do all the YouTube things. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so that you never miss a vid. Thanks so much for taking some time today to spend discussing comics with me. I always appreciate it, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.